We begin our broadcast tonight in South Africa, where ballots are being tallied and voters are hoping for change in the country's sixth democratic election since the end of apartheid. Sisipo Sikweyiya reports from Johannesburg.
Votes are being counted in South Africa as the ruling African National Congress faces its toughest electoral test yet. 25 years after the ANC took power at the end of white minority rule, analysts say the electorate is frustrated by corruption scandals, high levels of unemployment, and slow progress in addressing racial disparities in wealth. That's seen its support slide, particularly in cities like Johannesburg and Polokwane, where some voters said they were hoping for change.
I'm voting because I want changes and I want to stop corruption as well.
We're experiencing poverty, we don't have jobs, those kind of things, So I'm hoping that they'd give us jobs, stop corruption, which is the main concern of South Africa.
We need jobs. A lot of young people in South Africa are not working.
My vote is going to bring the changes in this country. We're tired of those crooks in ANC where they don't even do us anything.
My vote has to make a change. That's what I'm expecting. Like everyone else, everyone's vote has to change things.
Where the poor get more resources and I feel like South Africa should be a better place.
Cyril Ramaphosa, who became ANC leader in December 2017, has promised to create jobs, improve public services and fight corruption. His main challenges are the Democratic Alliance and the leftist economic freedom fighters. Officials say results could be announced on Saturday.
That was Sisipo Sikweyiya of Reuters reporting. Now for more on South Africa's elections, let's go to Johannesburg, where VOA Southern Africa correspondent Anita Powell is standing by live via Skype. Good evening, Anita.
Hello.
Now, the vote counting is ongoing. Any surprises so far?
Well, maybe some people are surprised that the ANC is barely hanging on at just under 57%, which is a drop from the last election where they got about 62%. Analysts predicted that they might do worse this time, but 57% is a lot lower, I think, than a lot of people expected. But the other thing that is surprising this time around is the success, relatively, of a party called the Freedom Front Plus. That's a translation from its Afrikaner name, and they are a white nationalist party. They've gone from under 1% in the last election to 3% just in recent counts. And that is quite surprising that they're surging, and they're now in fourth place, a distant fourth, but it is interesting and surprising to a lot of people.
So, Anita, you mentioned ANC might likely, take the win in this vote, but and also that the margin this time round is low compared to previous elections where ANC was, winning with a landslide victory. What are some of the reasons being given for these falling numbers?
Well, as you just heard from voters, people are upset about the stink of corruption that surrounds the South African government, which has been led by the ANC for 25 years. They're also upset in the lack of basic services that have been extended to all South Africans. If you go out, not just into the rural area, if you go 5 kilometers from this office in the richest square mile in Africa, we're in Sandton, Johannesburg, if you go 5 minutes away, or just a few kilometers, you'll hit the township of Alexandra, which has no basic services, where people are living in shacks, where running water is scarce, where people say that they don't have reliable electricity. And that is a travesty to many voters who say that they're sick of this, living for 25 years, expecting better and not getting it from the ANC.
Very briefly, any official confirmation from the Electoral Commission as to when we will finally know the results of this election?
So initially they said Saturday. But today there have been some reports of people double voting. The Electoral Commission announced that 19 people have been arrested. They're investigating. It's possible they might slow down the results, and we might only get them 7 days from the poll. So anytime between Saturday and the next few days, we should get final results.
Anita, excellent reporting as usual. Anita Powell, VOA Southern Africa correspondent.